So we took the Monster Cross bike out. I think this is probably the first time in maybe 6 weeks that I've ridden this bike. I came up here, I think back in either late September or early October and rode up the Grizzly Flat Trail, which goes up that way a few miles. Yeah, I've been riding the e-bike, trying to get in all my longer rides before daylight savings time ended, and then we've had some really nice weather going for most of October. There was one weekend I got rained on pretty bad, but other than that, been trying to take advantage of the nice weather and get in some of the longer e-bike rides that I've been wanting to do. And now back to this bike. So we're up in the Montebello Open Space Preserve, and there's no e-bikes permitted up here, so that's why I got to take this one. And I'm back to my favorite little trail here, this old road that goes up to the GeoCache hill up there. I always like to do this kind of as a shakedown, hike a bike, whatever you want to call it. So ride up here and then take my bike up off the trail. Trail's just right down there, but I put the bike here so it doesn't get noticed. And then I've got my new bag mounted on the old rack here. That was nice. I'm still in the process of getting this bag set up. As I was headed out today, or this afternoon, like, oh, I need to put a jacket in here. And then with this bag, I've got enough room where I can put my gaiters and my fanny pack inside the bag there, and I don't have to strap it on the back of the seat post like I used to. So that's really nice. So yeah, switching back to this bike from the e-bike, I picked it up and it's like, whoa, it's so light. And with the smaller tires, the much lower rolling resistance. And really the only difference is between the e-bike and this bike, the e-bike, you go faster. So coming up the hill here, I probably do 6, 8, 9 miles an hour coming up the canyon road. It averages 4 or 5%. There's some steeper sections and some less steep sections. I haven't come up here on the e-bike, but if I did, I could probably hold 15 miles an hour all the way up the hill, no problem. You spend half the time on the climb. And then the other thing I've noticed is on the e-bike, I can do these long climbs without stopping. You just start at the bottom and you hold your 10 or 15 mile an hour all the way up the climb, and you're at maximum heart rate all the way up. But I don't have to stop and catch my breath or rest. I can just do the whole climb in one go. And coming up here, you've got about a 5-mile climb, and I just did that all in one shot, where normally I usually stop at least once in the middle just to kind of catch my breath and get a drink. But now on this bike, I can just ride right up here. So yeah, I think that's kind of nice. You know, with the e-bike, you still get a pretty good workout. You actually enhance your pedaling effort on a conventional bike. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I figure I'm going to be doing more of this bike since I come up here kind of in the fall and winter and do this sort of hiking. Okay, I made it up I call this the West Side Road. It's not referred to by name on the GeoCache page, but anyway, that's the road that goes around down the hill and comes out kind of down at the bottom down there. But yeah, I made it up here. I think the fastest time ever. Did 16 minutes for a third of a mile. This climb will kick your butt. It is steep. I don't know if somebody's been clearing down there. It seems to be less covered with downed trees. I don't know if somebody's been up here and cleared out some of the trees, or maybe the trees that have fallen are now old enough that the branches have broken off so that you can just walk over them. There's a few new branches and trees down, but they're not too bad. Yeah, I didn't have to take my little bypass around the really bad section of trees this time. Yeah, I haven't been up here in about a year. Still looks like the same place. Yeah, I think I'll head on up to Charcoal Road. It's about a quarter mile more, and see what Charcoal Road looks like. You just go down the saddle and then up the other side. Okay, yeah, made it up to Lower Charcoal Road here. It's not terribly muddy here yet, but it could get kind of sticky on your feet. There's some softer spots a little farther up, especially where that slide was. The road slid out and they put new fill in there, and it's probably still kind of soupy along that section. Yeah, made it up here in about 30 minutes total from the bottom. This is probably the quickest way to get up to Charcoal Road, because if you go up the Table Mountain Trail, that's 1.3 miles to get to the top of Table Mountain, and then you have another mile or so to get up to Charcoal Road. Where here, it's about half a mile, and then I think it's another third of a mile up to the junction up there, where you get the Table Mountain and Charcoal Road junction. Don't have enough time to go up there today, but yeah, I just wanted to kind of get up here, get my hiking legs back under me. Kind of wet up here. Good thing I put the gaiters on. Oh, that one's fell down. I'm going to have to pull that one back up. And then I should probably be heading out of here because I forgot my jacket and I just have this kind of summer cycling jersey on. And I always forget that it's about 10 or 15 degrees colder up here than it is down in the valley. And it always takes me like one ride like this to remember time to bring the jackets, the winter gear. Sometime here I got to head over to the old mountain bike park over there. I want to take another look at that, so maybe I'll do that in the next week or two. Okay, made it to the bottom of the steep section here. Yeah, it was a little slippery coming down. There's a section where you kind of go between a couple of trees and over a down tree, and then it's really steep. Slippery dirt, and then you've got the wet leaves on top of it, so you just have to kind of dig your heels in. But yeah, this bottom part's not too bad, and where you climb back up out of the saddle and then take a left and down the west side road, as I like to call it. I don't know if there's an official name for it. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to call her quits here, so I hope you enjoyed that first off-trail hike of the season.